Hey, it's happy.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
It's got to be happy hour somewhere. So, welcome to Drinking Dusties, where we get to pop the cork on amazing old bottles that have been languishing in hiding somewhere for sometimes decades to find out, are they worth drinking or should they have been left in the sands of time?
Yeah, we also uncover the amazing stories that went into those bottles, so you kind of understand a little bit more about where they came from.
Exactly. That'll be an important one with this one because I'm not sure you're going to enjoy drinking it, Steve.
Wow, you got me excited already.
By the way, I'm Charles Cox.
I'm Steve Russell.
And one thing that we want to mention before we even get started is that we would love for you guys to click subscribe, button down in the corner,
Yep.
click it, subscribe to our videos. Don't cost you a thing, helps us out, much appreciated. You can also follow us on social. There's the Facebook.
And there is the Instagram, and you've got a little advanced, sometimes some hints about what we have coming up. Sometimes you get some, content that's just kind of not in this vein, but maybe like if we encountered a pour of a Dusty at a bar here or there, and we want to just, kind of share a nice little picture of it and that kind of
Sometimes you just get pictures of feet.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they're nice.
People love feet.
Yeah, exactly. You can do Patreon for that.
So Patreon is very important. So on Patreon, we would love your support to help support our venture here with a little donation.
It's also known as a habit.
Yeah, exactly. So, but if you do that, you get entered in, because we want to bribe you, entered into the chance to get a free Dusty. Every episode we send out a Dusty to our awesome Patreon supporters.
For instance, like this one is like an old Commonwealth. We have this old Commonwealth in here just waiting to go out to somebody.
In fact, we will put up the name of the winner here on screen because I'm not remembering off the top of my head. But this was Stitzelweller juice, distilled by Julian P. Van Winkle II and bottled by Julian P. Van Winkle III. So basically, pre-Pappy, it was delicious. Yep. I can't believe we're getting rid of this.
Could be illegally mailed to you.
Could be. Yep. Or could be totally legal.
Yep.
Who knows?
All right. So, but let's get on to what we are unveiling today under the box of mystery.
You've heard me talk about it a little bit, so I know you know what you're in for today.
Not happy about it. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Why aren't you happy about it, Steve?
Because I believe it is Scotch.
Scotch. Everybody loves Scotch. The world loves Scotch.
Not me.
Why don't you love Scotch, Steve?
Well, even though I have a little Scottish ancestry, I think I'd rather drink the worst bourbon than the best Scotch. Okay. I think Scotch basically tastes like somebody burned some dirt and mixed it in a glass with water.
I think some people would disagree with you, but I will admit we mostly talk about bourbons here on Drinking Dusties. Your wininess has been duly noted, because bourbons are what we like best. And there's a lot of good whiskey out there. In this case, whiskey without the E, because the Scottish are apparently illiterate and they can't spell whiskey the right way.
Absolutely. I agree with that, even though I'm Scottish. I also don't like golf, by the way.
You're also illiterate just as well. Well, hopefully this will tug at something in your DNA to, so you can appreciate it.
Hey, we'll see. I'm willing to have an open mind.
Okay, well, maybe the mold on this bottle will make you have an open mind. We'll see. So I will admit that while I definitely prefer bourbon or rye or Japanese whiskey or Canadian whiskey, I can appreciate Scotch, and I do enjoy some, but I also can appreciate the fact that it does give you a wider flavor profile to work with. Bourbons, a lot of people have criticism of bourbon. We don't trust them, but they often say bourbon all tastes the same. It doesn't. But whiskey gives you a wider profile.
Wider, lesser.
And I admittedly picked this up to broaden our horizons a bit, but also for personal reasons. J&B was my grandmother's favorite Scotch.
I do like that part.
She would drink it during cocktail hour every single night while watching the news before dinner.
Every night, cocktail hour?
Yeah, every night. Every night.
That's pretty impressive.
That's why they called them the good old days.
Yeah,
right?
Indeed, absolutely.
So you must respect the cocktail hour as law in my family.
Absolutely.
So it's much easier to honor that tradition if you really don't give a shit about whether dinner's actually edible or not for after you're drinking. So I loved my grandparents so much, but they weren't exactly Anthony Bourdain in the kitchen.
Did she mix it with something? What was her?
She mixed it with her desire to not cook. Yeah. No, she would have Scotch on the rocks or Scotch and soda.
Okay.
Scotch and soda was. All right. And this is a good whiskey for that. So that's, this is not a single malt Scotch. We'll be talking about it shortly. You'll see.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Okay. So tell me a little about this one, or you tell me about something else.
Okay. So I'm going to bring out. So just for point of comparison, I'm bringing out current J&B Scotch. So this is what it looks like now. You can see it's a very similar.
Very similar.
Very similar. So
I'm
sure you're wondering if it's any good.
I am wondering if it's any good.
It is not. It is
great.
not.
Fantastic.
But it definitely has its fans. But today's J&B is cheap Scotch for mixing. I mean, it's like bottom shelf.
Like how much is this flask size.
This flask was $8.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So you know what you're getting in for.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not going to change your opinion of Scotch. But I'm just having us try it for comparison.
All right. I'm just going to say, though, I've had probably more
I love how the bugs are coming out.
Yeah.
Now.
Did they come out of the bottle? Does that come out of the bottle?
Maybe. Don't ask too many questions.
Okay. So here's the thing. I've actually had probably more what's regarded as good Scotch than bad Scotch. Maybe this is my jam. Maybe this is my Scotch.
Yeah. Keep hoping.
Okay. All right. I can't hope.
Enjoy.
I think that bug came out of that bottle.
Came out of the bottle.
Seriously. God, that's awful.
See, I wouldn't say it's awful.
Okay, so it doesn't have as much of the burned quality that offends me about
For an
Scotch.
$8 flask, I expected a lot more burn.
It's really kind of sweet.
Yeah, it's a little bit sweet, but also it's like you put a little bit of honey in the bottom of an old ashtray.
Right.
That's pretty spot on, right?
Right.
All right. So even today, this J&B is the 5th best-selling Scotch blend in the world. It's only second to Johnny Walker in the entire Diageo stable.
Wow.
And they have a lot of Scotches.
Yeah, boy, they do. They ever.
Yeah. For some reason, J&B is especially popular in Southern European markets, and it's promoted there as the world's party whiskey.
I love that. I actually love that it's promoted as a party whiskey. Like, words party and Scotch don't usually go together.
And the bottle says it's
rare,
which is kind of funny for the 5th best-selling Scotch in the world. Okay.
It must be true. It must be very rare, right?
It's a lie.
Yeah.
Or marketing.
Okay. Right.
Sorry, killing that bug. There's more bugs coming out of the bottles.
It'll go back in.
So I just want to point out that this is a blended Scotch, not a single malt.
Okay, yeah,
the label says it's a blend of the purest Scotch whiskies.
Can't lie.
Which is more marketing speak.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a blend of Scotches. That part is true. Like most Scotch sold worldwide is actually blended Scotch. Single malts for all the press and attention they get.
Sure.
They're actually a much smaller niche among consumers. And so blended Scotches are much more popular. And this one actually blends 42 different individual whiskeys together to make J&B. It's mostly Speyside Scotches, Nakando, Akroisk, Glen Spey.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, it's not. I'm stumbling over all of those. So I definitely get... It's a little bit nutty, but more grassy, I guess, when you smell it. And then it's not overly, the thing is, it's not overly anything, right? It's not overly smoky, not overly peaty like a strong single malt. It's a little fruity. It's a very light whiskey overall.
I do get a heavy of that grassy with light regurgitation.
You'll get heavier regurgitation shortly. So this is what you would consider a lighter weight summer Scotch. Steve's loving it. Loving it. All right. So,
which I love, by the way, because I've been to Scotland. Like in August, they don't have summer, so summer Scotch is to me amusing.
Well, it's when it's raining a little less. Right. It's gone from 38 degrees to 50 maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of Justerini and Brooks, the J&B.
Now wait a minute. So when is this from?
So this is 1962.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So and this is so as a see, it just plays up the J&B here, although you do see the Justerini and Brooks too. You see the label has changed slightly, but not a ton. But Justerini and Brooks as a brand actually goes all the way back to 1749, when an Italian man from Bologna went all the way to London to try to seduce the opera singer Margherita Bellino.
That is a sweet story.
Yeah, except that she was a big star and she didn't want to have anything to do with him. So he started a wine business instead with a partner named George Johnson.
Another Italian name.
Yeah, exactly. Of the Napoli Johnson.
George Johnson.
But by 1960, or not 1960, 1760, sorry, Justerini had lost interest, sold half to Johnston, half of the business, and he moved back to Italy.
Huh. Tell me more.
But it wasn't called Justerini and Johnson. I bet you're wondering why.
I am wondering. Mildly.
So Johnson he actually got a royal warrant to supply King George III in 1760. We remember he
was not our favorite.
Mad King George, yes, but he at least had J&B to console him when he lost the colonies.
He possibly could have made him mad.
Yeah, exactly. He anticipated the result in the interest in whiskey, and he branched out into blended Scotch, rather. So the business expanded. The Johnson family eventually sold the business to Alfred Brooks in 1831, who subbed in his own name, but for some reason kept Justerini. I guess because it sounded cool and made them sound like they actually knew a lot about wine.
Yeah.
So by the 1880s, Scotch was finally rivaling brandy in popularity among London's posh crowd. And Justerini and Brooks bought up stocks of old whiskey from various Scotch distillers to create their own distinctive blend.
Okay.
Before Prohibition, which was when?
You caught me on the spot.
1920 to 1933.
1933.
Yeah. So before that, Scotch actually wasn't popular in the U.S. at all.
Right.
But many Americans developed a taste for it during
Right.
Prohibition because they couldn't get American whiskey.
They would drink anything they could get their hands on, and that would
bathtub
be,
gin,
right,
even if it killed
that
them.
would
Yeah.
be the definition of this.
So almost all American whiskey production was driven out of business, but we were smuggling in
Right.
Scotch and Canadian whiskey, so
Right.
they would get that from bootleggers.
Mhm.
So J&B actually saw a great opportunity when Prohibition ended because, of course, their business was still going. They were able to hit the market hard in the U.S. with J&B Rare, which is what
J&B
they called this
Rare.
one. Yeah, that launched in the 1930s in the U.S. It was specifically designed to appeal to American tastes. So it was meant to be lighter in flavor, and it competed with their main rival, blended Scotch at the time, which was Cutty Sark. They also managed to capitalize on pop culture really brilliantly. They paid the Rat Pack to drink their product on stage. So after people saw Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin drinking J&B, Americans, of course, flocked to it, as did Italians and Spaniards.
Yeah.
By the 60s and 70s, they were selling 3 million cases a year.
Wow. Now, I do associate Old Blue Eyes with drinking a little different product.
Correct.
Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels. So he shifted over to that when the paychecks started coming from somebody else.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Right.
It ended up being the whiskey of choice for the Beatles. You can, if you watch the Get Back sessions,
Yeah,
that Peter
did.
Jackson document, they were drinking. It was J&B and Coke is what they were drinking
Coke.
together. Yep. Your favorite horror movie is
The Thing.
Kurt Russell.
The remake, the 80s remake.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Kurt Russell drank J&B.
I think I remember that actually.
If you remember,
That's what made him go blind in that eye. By the way.
That's probably it. Do you remember Glengarry Glen Ross?
I
Great
sure
movie.
do, yeah.
Jack Lemmon's character drank J&B.
Wow.
American Psycho, Christian Bale drank J&B, which is what made him. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
And this bottle is from 1962.
1962.
Yeah, and
all right. So, are we about ready
to try it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we want to
drink that Dusty? Sure.
I don't really.
He does not want to drink this Dusty.
Let's go ahead.
You want me to talk more about how we dated it then to delay you having to drink the Dusty?
Yeah, do that actually.
Because I unfortunately still need to finish a little bit of the.
You don't have to, by the way.
I'm going to bring up the other,
yeah,
the clean glass.
I'll get
Not everything we drink is great.
Yeah.
This one, not great. But hey, you do you. If you like it, you do you.
Should I throw this one back?
Yeah, you can just throw it.
Yeah.
Throw it far away. Take the bugs with it.
Okay.
So 1962, take you back in time. You can go ahead and pour some of this for us.
You ready? Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. I don't need to. I already. To be fair, because actually turn it around for a second so people can see.
Yeah.
See how moldy that back label is? I actually previously opened this and tried it just to make sure. As much as I hate Steve, I also don't want to go to jail for killing him.
Right.
So I had to try it first to make sure it was okay. Okay is a wild.
All right, here we go.
Okay. So in 1962 was quite the dramatic year. We had the Cuban Missile Crisis, which is the closest we ever came to a nuclear war. Why did you give me that much?
Look, you drink out of this tiny little glass, and my reference point is all off of it.
All right, fine. Closest we came to nuclear war. Happy days, 13 days of terror, and we only realized recently how close that was. China also attacked India. So the two most populous countries in the world were at war at the same time, which is a great time to be alive.
Yep.
Since I know you love your space race news.
I do. It's actually true. I really.
This smells completely different than the new one. That's so weird. Completely different.
Yeah, you're right.
In 1962, John Glenn became the first American astronaut to orbit the Earth. The Telstar satellite gave us the first transatlantic television broadcast, so we now could have global networks.
Yep.
And the first successful interplanetary probe, Mariner 2, was launched by NASA and reached Venus, not Uranus, later that year.
Probe.
Yep. Yeah, I knew where you were going with that one. Watson, Wilkins, and Crick won the Nobel Prize for their work with DNA.
Wow.
And the term personal computer was used for the first time by the media.
That's amazing, actually.
Yeah,
that came out
all the way back then. And the first Kmart and the first Walmart both opened that year, in the same year.
That's huge.
One of those.
Mom and pop shops started crying around the country.
I can't blame them.
Yeah.
All right. In entertainment news, even bigger, 1962 sadly brought us the tragic death of Marilyn Monroe on the big, exactly. Sorry, we're not toasting you with something better, Marilyn.
Sorry.
On the big screen, we saw the release of the movie Dr. No, which launched the entire James Bond franchise, which is still going strong.
Yeah.
On the small screen, Johnny Carson started on the... You got him! Here, there's going to be more coming out again.
Really.
All right. On the small screen, Johnny Carson began hosting The Tonight Show.
That's big.
Yeah, that's huge. In the music world, 1962 saw the first records by three not well-known acts. The Beatles, Bob Dylan, and the Beach Boys.
Wow. I haven't heard of them, but anyway.
You could say they're all B-list stars.
Oh,
hey, all right.
Wow.
Speaking of beaches, Your favorite movie?
Oh,
Yeah, Beach
okay.
Boys. Beach Boys.
Right.
1962 also saw the introduction of the pull tab on soda and beer cans, much to the chagrin of, I know, my feet,
Yep.
anybody's feet that went on sand, try to go in sand, bare feet for the
Back when everybody just threw the trash out for some reason.
Slice your feet open. All right. So, but as with all success stories in the liquor world, there's another one flying around. These guys got bought out by the corporate interest of International Distillers and Vintners in 1962, the same year this bottle came out, but later in the year, which eventually became part of Diageo.
Okay.
Now. So this was from just before that sale.
But, okay, gotcha.
So now it is finally time to...
You can talk some more.
No, you're going to drink
this. Time to drink this Dusty.
Begrudgingly.
Drink this Dusty.
The aroma is much more nuanced than the new one. I love the expression on your face.
I mean, go ahead.
No, I want to hear. I want to hear everything you have to say about this, Steve.
So I can tell that this is a better Scotch.
Hey, I'm proud of you. Right. That took a lot.
I can tell that this has more character, more depth. It's just flat out a different category of Scotch. That does not help me like it more than a smidge more.
I will say I actually expected you to hate this one more than the new one, even though the new one doesn't have much going on. Because this one, to me, even though they said it's a Speyside, it's a blend of mostly Speyside malts. To me, it has a lot of characters of a Campbelltown Scotch. For those of you who know Scotch, Campbelltown has a lot more. It has more of the medicinal, industrial qualities. Like this has that sort of Band-Aid, like if you have a Band-Aid on your finger, you like the Band-Aid, you get a little bit of that.
Selling it.
Yeah, Scotch fans love that. It's got a little bit of a sooty quality to it.
See, that's where
oily.
I still like that sootiness, but I will.
It's industrial, more than dirty. Because I know you don't like Scotch because it's dirty. This to me tastes more industrial than dirty.
The way I like this more like. So the other one to me it was like actually shockingly for me for a Scotch was sweet. Really sweet to me. This knocks some of that off with the kind of the more smoky sootiness.
But I would submit that the sweetness is still there.
It's still there,
but it's at the back end.
That's mainly what I was getting honestly out of the other one.
Right.
You know what? I'm just going to do it because it's what I do.
Yeah. Add your ice.
Throw a piece of ice in
so I'm going to just point out a couple interesting things on the bottle. So this bottle in particular, I know some bottles there's more bugs
coming out of these bottles.
There are
get a nap with every bottle of J&B.
Sometimes you get many. It's sometimes tough to date these bottles because there's I'll put the top on because God forbid we should spill some of this.
Oh my gosh.
I feel so bad for my grandma. Yeah. She didn't have better Scotch at her disposal back then.
Seriously.
There's no embossed numbering on the bottom, so you can't see when the bottle was made. But what you can do is you can look at other clues. There's this saying on the back. It's actually embossed in the glass. Federal law forbids sale or reuse of this bottle. So this is something that they put on bottles in the U.S. right after Prohibition. I think they started in 1934, and they went up until 1968, I believe.
Like that,
I'll update that number.
So that's your a lot of times your first step in narrowing down a window of a Dusty.
So you know it's from within 34 to 68 thereabouts. Also, J&B does a great thing where they're listing, because they like to brag on the back label about how they are the Scotch of the royal family, and they would provide liquor for the royals. No wonder they're so unhappy all the time. But it lists kings and queens, and you notice it has up to King George VI. It does not have Queen Victoria does not have Queen Elizabeth on here yet. So it does mention other royalty, His Royal Highness Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands. All of these things allow you to date when this was from. And also, now that we live in the era of the internet, you can look at pictures of other labels online, and that's how we were able to date this to 1962. Yeah.
I've seen other bottles of things, of scotches and blended scotches and such. Usually blended scotches like Buchanan's and stuff like that, black and white, that also have that sort of basically permitted by her Royal Majesty, whatever. And I always wonder what that tie-in is with royalty. It's so strange.
Well, that was a huge bragging point for these guys, right? Yeah. To be able to get the royal family to say, we like your product enough to try it.
But then they also had to get, I assume they had to get permission to do that, which is,
of course,
was really interesting, actually.
And this, as you can see, it's a larger, but this is not the 750 milliliters. This is one imperial quart is the measurement. And that also gives you an indication, 86 proof, Gives you an indication of the age as well. But this was at auction, or sorry, not at auction, at an estate sale. So somebody just garage sale. That's why it's so you can see all the mold on the back from being in somebody's basement, but not inside the bottle.
When you say estate sale, was this part of the ones you bought that were more like a storage unit estate sale?
Yes.
Yes, I thought so.
But I think clearly this was in somebody's basement at some point. But this was with the fees. I picked them up so I didn't have to pay for shipping. $32.
Bam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Good value for those who like Scotch. So I would say
for grandma.
I would actually sip this. I would not. You could definitely use it for cocktails. I know you wouldn't, but I enjoy this enough as a light, easy drinking Scotch.
You know when I would sip this?
When you're dying?
Not in a million years.
What if your esophagus was clogged like a toilet and you needed to punch through?
It's an interesting scenario you've laid out.
I mean, yeah.
I'll have to think about that further because it's going to be a close call.
All right, so I definitely haven't convinced you to like Scotch with this, but you powered through. I'm proud of you.
Right. Hey, with ice, it's almost like I can't taste it, so it works out pretty well.
It is very light in color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look how light that is, baby.
And one of the key differences between Scotch and bourbon, you can't add anything to it, right? But it gets its color from the charred barrels. Scotch, they can actually add caramel coloring to it.
Like all Scotch?
Darker. All Scotch, yeah. So that's why this doesn't, because this was back before then. But
honestly,
a lot of single malts are that dark because of the caramel.
I'm not taking any guff off any fancy pants Scotch people from now on. Then if they're like, oh yeah, we throw caramel in.
Caramel coloring. They say it's not. It doesn't impart any flavors, but then you're like, it tastes like caramel.
Well, quite frankly, just live with the color of your whiskey.
Unfortunately, people do have a perception that the darker it is, the more valuable.
That's not true,
but it's not true.
Yeah.
But you have to be educated to know it's not true.
Exactly. So okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Remember to click the button and subscribe. Yeah. We need your subscriptions. It's free. You can also follow us on social, and importantly, you can support us on Patreon because we will send you.
Are we going to send people this?
Somebody's going to love that. But I'm going to send something else.
Yeah.
You, if you're watching right now, you're going to get something else.
Yeah.
Remember, we've got this old Commonwealth going
on.
Sometimes they're mind-blowingly good, and sometimes they're J&B.
This will be a little bonus for somebody.
I got to say, this is better. Definitely better than I expected.
All right.
Yeah, I remember.
I'll give it that.
I remember trying it when I was a little kid. My grandma was drinking it.
Oh, great.
Not with her. She didn't pawn it off on me, but I felt the urge. I saw it there. I had to try it. It was jarring, to say the least. I thought it was apple juice. It was not.
No, it was
But
not.
look at that color.
Yeah.
You can see why I thought that was apple juice.
Absolutely.
It was not apple juice.
All right. So, remember, we got more. We're taking this journey. Sometimes the journey's going to take a left turn or something like this. Mm-hmm. But we're forging ahead. There'll be more dust. There's going to be more Dusties coming up. That's what we're here for. We hope you'll come back and join us again. Till then, keep it dusty. Cheers.
Skål.
Milk in my mouth.